if you're struggling with procrastination, consistency, and focus, I'm about to share the systems that actually help me get things done. These are things that helped me get a raise, they helped me grow to 80k followers, and make over 60k in my own business. Because if you're like me, you can't just sit down and focus on a video. Like, you're probably on a walk right now watching this or doing some chores. If you get overwhelmed because you keep pushing deadlines and then everything starts piling up, and then that gets overwhelming, so you doom scroll in bed or on the floor and suddenly hours are gone. And if you're constantly checking notifications like email, Slack messages, but you're not actually getting the important work done because it feels like you have 100 tabs open in your brain and you have a bad memory and just can't be disciplined and are too lazy, I got you, because I am also not that disciplined and a lazy girl. So these are the systems that allow me to stay lazy. I actually have a cheat sheet with all of these methods, so you can grab it in the description below, but maybe leave this video on in the background because I'm monetized. Thank you for your support. So the first thing is the walk method. When I was in school, I could not just sit down and study. I had to record myself going through my notes, listen to the recording while I was on a walk in my neighborhood, and then when exam time came, I used the method of loci or the mind palace to visualize myself walking through the neighborhood, and that helped jog my memory for the exam. Now, if you're not studying, you can still use this walk method, just like something to move your body, you know, like I have a walking treadmill under my desk. I tend to go on a walk if I really need to just brainstorm something, but I can't sit down and make myself do it. Even better if I'm talking to somebody who can give me feedback. That beats weeks spent procrastinating because I can't just sit down and type out my strategy. Like, I need to be moving, I need to be talking or discussing it with someone. The next method is the track method. This is when I've journaled every single day for the last 10 years since 2015. But now I've made it a lot easier. I literally just yap to an AI and it cleans up the transcript for me. I also love tracking things because it shows your streaks and gives you a sense of progress, which is reward. There's also this thing called the Zeigarnik effect, which I've talked about in previous videos, but basically it's about how unfinished things are remembered more. So you need to start tracking things so that you feel pressured to finish them, especially if there's a deadline. For me, it looks like laying out my running or gym clothes the night before so I don't have to feel overwhelmed picking an outfit, and I'm excited to put on the cute outfit, and then I feel pressure to continue going to the gym or going on a run now that I put on the outfit. The next thing I track is my 24/7 time tracking, and I love this because it helps jog my memory for my journaling, and it has so many pretty colors. It takes literally like 2 seconds to change the timer, and I can look back on my day and be like, oh wow, I spent a lot more time on my phone than I expected. But also, the act of tracking will make you kind of think twice about doing something. So if I'm in bed and I'm like, okay, I have to change my timer to doom scrolling on my phone, I'm like, wait, should I actually be doing that? The next thing I track is my marathon training. Again, this relates back to the Zeigarnik effect because I really want to complete filling out this sheet every single day. Plus, it has pretty colors, and I really want to get those kudos on Strava as well as my goal time for the marathon because it's bragging rights. So again, that's the other reward that I get from tracking. Now, I also have finance tracking, and this was so hard for me because my brain cannot with numbers. But again, tracking it was made rewarding because I had this finance dashboard with all these pretty colors and emojis, and once I outlined the clear steps for me to get started and turned it into a monthly routine, it became a lot easier. So not only did I remove the friction and the confusion, I also added reward, and that's what happens when you start tracking stuff. I have a video tutorial of this finance tracking. I'll link it somewhere here. But the next thing that I track is my reflections. So I track my time 24/7, which helps me journal every night, which helps me with my weekly reflections, which helps me with my monthly, which helps with the quarterly, which helps with the yearly. So all of this tracking makes sure I'm on track for my goals for the year instead of just forgetting about it because my memory is terrible. Now, you might be thinking like, this is too much, but trust me, when you make it rewarding, it's worth it and you'll look forward to doing it. The next method that I'm about to talk about is the vibe check method, which is what happens with weekly reflections. Like when you track these things, it vibe checks you. And literally last month in May, I was like, this is such a horrible month. I don't know what I'm doing. I got nothing done, which again is like all or nothing thinking. I'm catastrophizing in my head. So what I did was I went back to my weekly reflections and found out I filled in none of the reflections for May. So I retroactively went back and filled it all out and saw that I had way more wins than losses. And even the losses, I had a prompt where it was like, what did you learn from this? What will you do next time? And that reframed the failures as a learning. So in my head, I went from this month was such a failure, I hated this, I got nothing done, I am, lazy, undisciplined, I'm not worthy, like all these things I'm telling myself, to, oh, I actually had a lot of wins, I did a lot of things I liked this month, I learned from my failures, I became a better person. So it's like, would you rather tell yourself the story that you're a failure, or would you rather tell yourself the story of like, you tried your best, you learned from it, and next month will be better? Like, which version is gonna keep you more motivated to take action towards your goals for the next month? But my brain tends to focus on the negatives. I think it's an evolutionary thing. So when you force yourself to do these reflections, and you can make it fun too, like it doesn't have to be a forced thing. Like every Sunday night, you have like a nice drink and a nice snack, and you sit down and do these reflections. It's so fun. When you make yourself do these, you force your brain to look at reality in a way that serves you instead of works against you. Now, the next method is the helping method. This is one of my favorites because it's so hard to get things done, especially the boring admin work. And people look at me like, oh, I can't trust you to do the boring work. I can't trust you to be organized. But it's like, okay, wait, hold up. I do that for myself where I don't do my own admin work, but as soon as it involves other people, it is me helping other people with admin work, like I will get that done. Like the reward there, the dopamine there is that act of helping other people. But when it's for myself, it feels like there's no reward sometimes, so I will put it off. So ways that you can use this helping method is, number one, act like your own coach. If you're stuck doing something, I believe that you have the knowledge because you know yourself best, you know your life and your business best. You have the knowledge to coach yourself through these difficulties. So just like start yapping to a voice note and kind of brainstorm that way, especially if you're on a walk. The next thing, pretend to like hire yourself as your own personal chef, like your own cleaner or something like that. That just is so fun to me because I'm like, okay, I'm helping, like I'm doing this job to help my boss, but then the boss is me, and I'm like, okay, it's so fun to like write up these job descriptions and think of, like rewards and payment that I can pay myself. I feel like that's such a creative way to like kind of trick your brain into doing stuff. The other thing is, of course, very obvious, do something for other people. So you can like trade some admin tasks with fellow ADHDers, like clean each other's room or something. And the most practical way to do this is body doubling. So me and my friends will often co-work at a library together where all the admin work that we've been putting off, we save it for that day, and the pressure of other people watching us do it and like doing it alongside us and then having to report what we've done at the end, it gets me to do stuff like so productively. The next method I have is around organizing your tasks. It's called the TTL list. This was actually adapted from this ADHD workbook that I had to go through with my therapist because she knew that I would not read the book by myself. TTL stands for today, tomorrow, and later. And under today, there's this one big thing. It can be something very simple, like on days that you find it really difficult to get out of bed, it can be just like get out of bed or like drink a sip of water. But as long as you get that one thing done, you're proud of yourself and you can keep moving forward. The reason why the calendar stuff, time blocking didn't always work for me was because sometimes I can't with the structure. Like I need a bit of structure, but like time blocking is too much structure. If I miss doing something on the time that I was planned to do, like suddenly everything just gets pushed back and it becomes overwhelming to deal with, and I'm spending more time organizing my tasks than doing the tasks. So what I do instead is today, tomorrow, later, I list out like 3 things I have to do today, 3 to 5 things for tomorrow, and the rest gets put in later. And every night I'll go through this and clean it up. And the thing is, as long as you get done the one big thing, you're good to go. Because the stuff that was under today that you didn't get to do, just leave it there, because tomorrow is a new today. So you don't have to spend all this time cleaning up your list. Sometimes my list does get messy, so what I do is I archive the whole thing and start a new list, and the things that are actually important make their way to the new list anyway. And the next thing I have is a default template, because remember, I can't handle a packed calendar full of stuff I'm supposed to do, but I also can't handle a blank calendar. I'm just gonna be doom scrolling, which is my default behavior. What I do instead is a structured template day. I have another video on this, I'll put the link somewhere here, but this is a day where I have all the hours outlined and I'm like, I'm gonna do this on this hour. That's the goal. I don't have to do it, but if ever I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do right now, I check this template day, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a prompt for what I could do right now. I can do that or pick something else from this list. I also have template weeks where every week I have a project focus that gives me a clear deadline and an outcome, which is like the reward. And the last few weeks it was cleaning my room. That was done. I had to clean my room to give all the donated clothes to my friend to donate to charity. So again, that's combining like this template day method with the helping others method. And then every week when there's a theme, it's very clear what I need to do next. When things are unclear, I'm just gonna doom scroll. I'm not gonna get anything done. But this gives me enough flexibility where I'm like, okay, I can get this done anytime during the day, anytime during the week. It's just, I need to get this done. If you found this helpful, you would love my life tracking course. Everybody raves about that sound that you get when you complete a task because it's just so satisfying, gives you that dopamine hit. And not only that, there's a very supportive community, and the videos are only like 3 to 5 minutes long, so it's very easy to do. There's a bunch of testimonials about how it helped people free up time, it helps them live more intentionally and celebrate their wins. So be sure to check that out, and I will see you in the next video.